Football fans, what up though? Welcome back to Full Contact Football. We're going to be taking a look at Chris Jones, the X-Factor defensive tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs, who is a complete game record, both in the run game and in the pass game. And he was all of that and more for the Chiefs in Super Bowl 58. So I've got 5 great plays that's going to demonstrate his dominance in that ball game. So let me get you to the film so you guys can see what you came here to see. All right, so Chris Jones is a defensive lineman. He plays defensive tackle primarily. He'll play across the line. As a defensive tackle, you're in the you're in the B gap. You're playing the 3 technique. Just means that you're outside shade of the guard. So this is where you're going to see Chris Jones here. The Niners are running the mid zone, just meaning they're going to look like they're going to press outside, but ultimately they're trying to cut back in the middle of the defense. All right, in this particular scheme here, the Niners are going to try to reach Chris Jones in a scoop block. So the guy that he's lined up on is going to go up to one of the backers. The tackle's going to try to scoop and reach Jones. All right, and as a defensive tackle in the run game, there's 2 main things you want to do. One, you want to penetrate that B gap. All right, you never want to get scooped if the play is going opposite of you, and you never want to get reached if the run is coming to your side. All right, and if they are able, and they being the Niners, are able to actually get this block on Jones, there is a huge lane for McCaffrey to get up to the safety, as I mentioned. So this is a wonderful play by Jones, even though he does go backdoor. That's completely wrong, but sometimes you just got to let your players play with the instincts that they have and trust them. Message to all the coaches out there. All right, now, Chris Jones is going to be the 3 technique once again to the left side of your field. The Niners are truly going to run an outside zone here. So they're trying to, or actually this is more of a toss because they actually pitched the ball. But they're trying to get outside of the defense's flank here. All right. Chris Jones switches over to get back to the 3 technique. What I really want you guys to pay attention to, okay, once again, like we said, as a 3 technique, we can't get reached, we can't get scooped. So the run is coming this way, so we're going to have to control this outside shoulder of the guard. Now, the best way to do that is going to be with your feet and your hands. Your hands control the shoulder, your feet outmatch the feet of the guard, and Chris Jones is one of the best in the league at this. So you get a great punch. Well, one of my guys on my team likes to call a whiskey shot here, so we're going to knock back 74's head. All right, get him moving backwards so that way we get control of the man. All right, Chris Jones, if I can slow this video up for you guys, I want you to watch his feet here, okay, how they never really cross until once he controls the block, gets loose, and looks to pursue the ball carrier. That is phenomenal technique there. Now, later on in the game, we're going to get a play action pass. We're going to get elephants on parade, just meaning that all the linemen are going to be moving down this way. The Niners are going to bring split zone action this opposite way, and then they're going to boot out with Purdy here, okay? And they're going to look to try to bring Ayuk back so we get the shallow and the deep route. The Chiefs do a good job in coverage, but really, Chris Jones wrecks this play in the backfield before it gets started. Okay, so 68 is going to try to block down on Chris Jones here. Does a poor job of doing that. For Chris, he does a wonderful job of containing through this B gap. So if you just use the imaginary line here of the Super Bowl logo and just think of, hey, if I'm looking to control my gap, I can't let anything outside of that. This is phenomenal. So Purdy's going to look to boot out. He never gets past that line. Now, granted, he pulls a little okey-doke here on Chris, but he's a little bit better athlete. But ultimately, he disrupts the play, and we get a -8 game there. So later on in the 4th quarter, this is one of the more critical plays of the game. The 49ers end up going to kick a field goal in this possession, but they had a touchdown here. So I'm just going to let this run so you guys can see how open Samuel is. All right, and ideally, I mean, he probably could hit either one of those guys, you know, and possibly get a touchdown. But Chris Jones doesn't allow this to happen because of his disruption as a pass rusher here. Now this is all Chris Jones. Once again, 74 is going to try to block him by overtaking his outside shoulder. Chris Jones has to fight against the guard's shoulder. Once again, just looking at this slowed down. Watch the feet of Chris Jones. This is a 300-pound man moving sideways while bench pressing the guard, never really crossing his feet, okay? And that just allows him to seamlessly beat that guard over and over again, okay? Now, last play of the game for the 49ers offense, okay? So it's 3rd and 4 in overtime. So they're gonna bring motion. They're gonna also run a boot. It's just kind of like a little gap scheme here where they're gonna pull the center and block back. The Chiefs are gonna bring 6 and they're gonna play cover 0. So it's man-to-man across the board, okay? Yes, Ayuk is gonna be open. He was never really the primary read here. They're trying to get action this way. Even if the primary read was to be on the left side, as you can see, Chris Jones doesn't ever give Purdy a chance to make a throw. He wasn't going to be able to complete a throw either way here because the Chiefs just had a better scheme than the Niners did on this particular play. In my opinion, the Niners got really cute here and it wasn't necessary. All right, so what we're looking at, like I said, we get the little gap scheme, so the center's going to skip pull here to kick out anything on the outside. Gap scheme just means, hey, you're responsible for a gap, not a man. So these guys are going to step down to secure the A gaps. Ultimately, 65 will have Bolton. Reed is going to blitz. The safety is going to blitz the backside A gap. 74 would have him. 68 is supposed to do what is called a step hinge. He's got to step in, protect this B gap, and then he'll hinge back to protect the C gap late. Kittle's going to do a check release, so he's going to, or a delayed release, he's going to chip 56, and then he'll get into the pass route after he secures that. Now, for the Chiefs, they're just simply bringing all-out pressure. They're just bringing everybody in the gap. There's really no stunts or any games here. All right, and Chris Jones is just able to be in the right place at the right time and blitz through that B gap, and the rest is history, as they say. Okay, but ideally, looking at Chris Jones, he is the prototypical 3 technique. He has the size, he has a little bit of speed, plays with great technique, and he is the engine that makes that Kansas City Chiefs defense run. With him being a free agent this year, expect the Chiefs to pay him handsomely as they look to go for the first ever three-peat in the Super Bowl era. You guys know what to do to this video. Like it, subscribe to the channel, and of course continue to be good football fans. We're out.